Hey everyone, and welcome to the Tales Blu-ray Picks podcast. I'm Miyuna, your resident Muppet Girl fan, and wow, we have a really special show today.
And I'm Nayuki, your Sonic fan in the room, and yes, this is a big one, like celebration mode big. Today, we're talking about Toei Animation's 70th anniversary and celebrating a straight-up anime legend.
Seriously, thank you all for joining us. We're diving into Toei Animation's history, achievements, iconic series, unforgettable characters, favorite productions, and the legacy of a studio that helped shape anime as we know it.
Yeah, and when we say shape anime, we mean really shape it. We're talking about a company founded in 1956, a studio that grew into one of the most recognizable names in animation anywhere in the world.
Right, and that early history matters. Toei began as Japan's first full-scale animation production company, and one of the landmark moments people always point to is its 1958 feature, The Tale of the White Serpent, often recognized as Japan's first full-length color animated feature. That's not just trivia, that's foundation-level history.
Which is wild to think about. Like, before all the giant franchises and transformation scenes and emotional finales, there was this studio helping define what large-scale Japanese animation could even be.
Exactly. And what's amazing is that Toei didn't just have an important beginning. It kept going, decade after decade, building a huge library of films and television series. As of this year, the company says it has hundreds of theatrical features and TV programs and well over 14,000 episodes in its library. That kind of scale is incredible.
That explains why growing up, it felt like Toei was everywhere. You'd finish one huge show and somehow run into another one from the same studio. Dragon Ball? Toei. One Piece? Toei. Sailor Moon? Toei. Digimon? Toei. It just keeps going.
And that range is one of the most impressive things about them. Action, magical girls, adventure, sports, monster stories, theatrical fantasy, toy-based franchises, long-running family series. Toei has touched so many corners of anime culture.
Yeah, they really said, why dominate one lane when you can dominate like 7, maybe 10?
Honestly, yes. So let's walk through the journey a little. In the early years, Toei built its reputation through theatrical animation. Then, over time, it became a major television force too, and that shift helped anime reach audiences on a whole different scale.
Right, because once you're in people's homes every week, characters stop being just characters. They become part of your routine, your childhood, your soundtrack even.
That is such a good way to put it. And Toei's music legacy is huge too. Iconic openings, endings, background tracks, insert songs. So many fans can hear a few notes from a Toei show and instantly get emotional.
Oh, absolutely. You hear one big opening from Dragon Ball, One Piece, Digimon, Sailor Moon, Saint Seiya, Pretty Cure, and suddenly you're not sitting in your room anymore. You're back in a specific year of your life.
Let's talk franchises, because this is where it gets really fun. Dragon Ball is one of the pillars. The original TV anime began in the 1980s, and then Dragon Ball Z helped define battle shonen for generations. Training arcs, rivalries, transformations, power-ups, so much of that global anime language runs through Dragon Ball.
Yes, Goku going beyond his limits is basically mythic at this point, and those transformation moments, come on, legendary. Even people who don't watch anime know that energy. They know the screaming, the aura, the hair. It's iconic.
And then there's One Piece, which has become one of Toei's defining modern giants. The anime started in 1999, and it's still one of the studio's biggest pillars. The company's own history highlights just how major One Piece has been, especially with film successes like Film Red.
Luffy and the Straw Hats are just unstoppable. One Piece feels like adventure in its purest form. It's funny, heartfelt, weird in the best way, and then suddenly it hits you with this emotional moment that completely wrecks you.
Very true. And I think that emotional elasticity is part of Toei's strength. It can deliver epic scale and sincere heart in the same production lineage. Sailor Moon is another huge example. When the anime began in 1992, it became a phenomenon and helped define magical girl storytelling for audiences around the world.
Usagi is such an all-timer. Sailor Moon has style, charm, friendship, romance, comedy, transformation, elegance. It's got that sparkle, you know? And those transformation sequences are permanently burned into anime history.
Absolutely. And speaking of transformation history, Pretty Cure deserves major respect. Starting in 2004, it became one of Toei's most representative long-running series. It kept the magical girl tradition alive while also giving it fresh energy, physical action, and new themes for new generations.
Pretty Cure rules. It's colorful, heartfelt, and surprisingly fierce. Like, you go in expecting sweetness, and then boom, these girls throw hands. Respectfully, of course.
Respectfully, yes. And then Digimon. For so many fans, Digimon was a gateway show. It had adventure, friendship, digital monsters, evolution scenes, and some seriously emotional storytelling. It connected with kids who wanted action, but also wanted characters they could cry with.
Digimon can sneak up on you emotionally. One minute you're hyped over a new evolution, the next minute you're sitting there like, wow, that was actually a lot. In a good way. A devastatingly good way.
Saint Seiya is another important one, especially internationally. Its armor designs, mythology influences, and heroic intensity made it a landmark franchise in many regions. And Slam Dunk showed that Toei could also help define sports anime excitement and character-driven team storytelling.
Right. And Gegege no Kitaro matters too because it connects Toei to supernatural folklore and multiple generations of viewers. It's one of those properties that keeps returning in new forms, which says a lot about how the studio balances tradition and reinvention.
I'm glad you said that because reinvention really is a core part of Toei's legacy. The studio has classics that older fans grew up with, but it also keeps adapting, revisiting, and refreshing franchises for younger audiences. That's not easy for any company, let alone one reaching 70 years.
Yeah, and that's where the challenge comes in too. When you're legendary, expectations are huge. Fans want the comfort of the old magic, but they also want modern pacing, new visuals, stronger production schedules, and stories that feel current.
Exactly. Maintaining a multi-generational studio is a balancing act. You have to honor your history without becoming trapped by it. And Toei has had to evolve in animation workflows, digital production, global licensing, and audience expectations, while still protecting the identity of its major properties.
Right. Because the anime world now is so different from the broadcast landscape decades ago. There's streaming, global same-day discussion, intense fandom culture, and constant comparison between studios. Staying relevant in that environment is not simple.
Yet Toei has remained central. It still develops new content, still expands beloved franchises, and still finds ways to make its catalog matter. The company also continues celebrating its heritage this anniversary year, and it has even framed this 70th anniversary as a major moment of gratitude to the fans who supported its journey.
And that feels right, because fans really do carry these stories through generations. Parents show kids Dragon Ball, older siblings pass down One Piece, people discover Sailor Moon, Pretty Cure, Digimon, Saint Seiya, Slam Dunk, and suddenly a whole new fan is born.
Okay, personal memory time. The first Toei series I remember connecting with in a big way was Sailor Moon. There was something about the blend of emotion, magic, and personality that just stayed with me. It felt sincere, stylish, and timeless.
For me, it was Dragon Ball and Digimon. That combo basically grabbed me by the shoulders and said, "Congratulations, you are now an animation fan forever." And honestly, accurate.
That tracks. What I love is how different those gateways can be. Some people enter through martial arts action, some through magical girls, some through pirates, some through sports, some through monsters. Toei has provided so many doors in.
Okay, let's stir things up a little. Which Toei franchise has had the greatest cultural impact?
Oh, that is tough. My thoughtful answer is that Dragon Ball may be the most universally foundational in terms of global battle anime language. It influenced power scaling, tournament energy, transformation hype, and the way generations talk about anime strength and heroism.
Very fair. Very scholarly, but I'm gonna jump in for One Piece because culturally, it's this giant ongoing adventure that keeps renewing itself. It's not just famous, it's lived with people for decades.
Honestly, that's a strong argument. One Piece has endurance, emotional reach, and huge cross-generational visibility. If someone argued Sailor Moon for magical girl impact, I wouldn't fight that either.
So the real answer is Toei made arguing about anime history way more difficult than expected.
Pretty much, yes. Now, another big question, which series best represents Toei's legacy overall?
I kinda want to say Dragon Ball because it blends long-running popularity, action spectacle, character recognition, and worldwide reach.
I see that. I might say One Piece as the symbol of Toei's lasting longevity, but if we're talking total legacy, Dragon Ball is an incredibly persuasive choice. And Sailor Moon represents another essential side of that legacy, character-driven fantasy with enormous cultural staying power.
Okay, now the fun one. Which Toei character would you most like to meet?
Usagi from Sailor Moon. I feel like the conversation would be chaotic, sincere, funny, and unexpectedly comforting.
Luffy, no hesitation. It would either be the greatest day ever or complete disaster. Maybe both, but it would never be boring.
That is the truest possible Luffy answer.
Thank you, I try.
All right, it is time for the QuestCast of the day. And today's question is, what is your favorite Toei animation series or character, and why?
Ooh, good one. Hit us with your answer first.
My favorite Toei animation series is Sailor Moon because it blends heart, style, humor, and emotional sincerity in a way that never stops feeling special to me. And if I had to pick a character, it would probably be Usagi. She's flawed, lovable, brave when it counts, and deeply human, even in this magical, larger-than-life story.
That's a great pick. Mine is Dragon Ball, with Digimon right behind it. Dragon Ball gave me that sense of pure excitement, the drive to improve, the thrill of impossible battles, the bigger-than-life feeling. And character-wise, I'd probably go with Goku for that same reason. He's such a simple but powerful symbol of always pushing forward.
We want to hear from all of you, too. What is your favorite Toei animation series or character, and why? Share your answer and your favorite Toei memories in the comments. We genuinely love to read them.
Yeah, tell us the opening song that still gets you hyped, the episode that made you cry, the transformation that blew your mind, the character you'll defend forever, all of it.
As we wrap up, I think the best way to describe Toei Animation at 70 is this. It's not just a studio with famous titles. It's a major piece of animation history. From early theatrical milestones to generation-defining television franchises, it helped shape the language, reach, and emotional memory of anime itself.
And that's why this anniversary feels so meaningful. We're not just celebrating one company, we're celebrating decades of stories, songs, heroes, heartbreaks, laughter, friendships, and those moments that made fans fall in love with animation in the first place.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this celebration of Toei Animation's incredible legacy.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video for more podcast discussions about animation history, anime, cartoons, physical media, and pop culture.
We appreciate every single one of you so much. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing this love of animation with us.
We love our viewers, truly. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
And from both of us.
See you next time on the Tales Blu-ray Picks podcast.